Hello everyone, my name is WalStreet, and today we are here to watch Laddi Animations Times I Should Have Realized I Was Autistic. Now, quickly before we start this video, I would like to mention at least once that I do have in fact autism. So, I think it would be interesting for an autistic person to react to a video of someone who just won they're autistic. Now, I did a quick scan of the video to make sure that it was legit, because there was a lot of troll videos of autistic people, first times, undiagnosed, etc. etc. Now, I know the animations, I already reacted to 2 of the videos. However, I just want to be sure. You never know. I've been heartbroken by big creators before. Nothing against her, I've just been heartbroken before. So, I have not watched the whole video, just the first bit of it. So, yeah, just want to make sure that's perfectly clear. Because I like to be transparent with the people who are watching, from hardcore people who subscribe to me to newcomers. So, anyways, take it away.
About a year ago, I was diagnosed with ADHD, also known as Autism disorder. Hot dog! No, it stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactive Disorder. Yeah, I know. However, since I've begun to tame my ADHD, I noticed there's still something different about how I interact with the world. And I've always felt that something ever since I was a kid. And looking back on it now, I think that something is autism. Autism, or autism spectrum disorder, is a developmental disorder that impacts the nervous system and impairs the ability to communicate and interact. At least that's the, definition.
That is true. That is the definition of autism. It's not just a communication part of it though. It's also a physical disorder as well. It's something that most people don't talk about. You get a lot more melatonin issues, which is the chemical. Why is that the proper word? Chemical? Yeah, it's the proper chemical needed to help you fall asleep. Some people have low to no melatonin. Another part of it is you have poor whack, and dissection makes it harder to basically have to go take a shit. Oh yeah, I probably should have mentioned I do cuss. Sorry in advance, I do cuss. But most people skip over the parts I talk for some reason, so yeah. Basically, overall, it is a complex disorder. It's not a disease, because you can spread autism. Disability, we can go back and forwards and say it is. Some cases it is, some cases it's not. But overall, the premise is a disorder. But yes, there are people who has autism, maybe something else, that has a disorder and has a disability part of it. Because it's a spectrum. It's not a one takes all. It's like, honestly, it's like whiskey. You can't just say I drink whiskey and people assume it's only Jameson. There's Johnny Walker, Jack Daniels, etc. etc. There are tons of types of whiskey. There's not one takes all. So, when it comes to autism, it's the same way. Oreos. By the way, all this is not sponsored. There's different types of flavor Oreo. You can't just say Oreos and say, they're talking about mint. And that's it. There's different flavors, different types. Double, thin, triple, mega stuff. It just keeps going. Hopefully all that makes sense. Most people just talk about the eye contact thing. No one really wants to go deep dive into autism. And they wonder why autistic people don't get help. Or get ignored when it comes to the medical field. But take it away, really.
Quick disclaimer, as you watch this video and learn about my specific symptoms, keep in mind that, yeah, you could be somewhere on the spectrum too. But please also understand that these symptoms are a lot like ingredients to a recipe. So just because you've got some tomatoes in boiling water doesn't necessarily mean your brain's making spaghetti. It could be making ravioli, or lasagna, or any other pasta. Wait, but...
Yeah.
And if you took this metaphor literally, you might be autistic.
Might be. Keyword there. Might be. Yes, there is times I take metaphors, sarcasm, and all that too serious. Well, growing up, I grew up in a household where sarcasm is basically as much of a language as English, so I grew up around sarcasm. Do I miss it sometimes? Yes. Do I get it all the time? Absolutely not. But I get it most of the time. And then, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Sometimes a joke is a swing in the miss, some days it's not. Oh, and that's another thing too. Autism is not a permanent installment disorder. People think people get killed. No, it's a mix of masking and warning your weaknesses, warning your strengths, etc., etc. Overall, this... How do I word this? Okay. As you grow older, you learn who you are. You learn how to deal with certain cooks, right? Oh, you chew with your mouth open a lot when you talk, so you learn to do this. And stuff like that. The small stuff, the itty bitty stuff. But that's the same thing with autism. It's not like, oh, we get diagnosed and that's who we are for the rest of our lives. Doesn't matter if we're 7 years old or 35 years old. That's who you are, and you never grow, and you never get weaker. Those days, I confuse my parents on how well I talk and how well I'm able to think things, not be hyper-focused on anything. In those days, they think I relapse to the point I need medicine. So, it's a up and down wave. It's never a clear ocean view. It's an up and down wave, like a coaster. So yeah.
So, growing up, I hated doing the dishes because of the smells and sounds and slimes. I was obsessed with everything having to do with cats and would often dominate conversations just to talk about my interests.
Special interests, obsessions, and addictions. Anyone who is diagnosed with autism needs to make sure they're able to monitor what they are addicted to. For me, it was Titanic, sharks, dinosaurs, monster trucks, NASCAR, and stuff like that. Right now, it is currently learning how to be a bartender through my interest and love of alcohol. Media, learning how to be a YouTuber because I love watching YouTube. Learning how to try to produce music because I love listening to classic rock music. Learning how to operate cameras because I love technology. That's one way you can turn a special interest into a possible career. Some people may need to go a little bit out of their way to go up and beyond so they can enjoy their special interests and try to make a career out of it, like I am right now. There is some cases where, however, special interests can cause you to have an addiction like smoking, alcoholism, and stuff like that. I have to keep an eye on everything I eat, drink, and do. Just pure as simple as that. So yeah. Oh, I was on reaction the entire time. Yeah. I forgot to hit the button. Let's go.
I found maintaining eye contact to be very unnatural and uncomfortable.
Yep.
And I'd cry at the sound of automatic flushing toilets. And honestly, I still find the sound very overwhelming.
Yes, but hair dryers are worse, and sadly they're becoming the norm. So, swing in the midst for me. But yes, some loud noises, which includes the fluorescent lights that is common in doctor offices, hospitals, schools, stuff like that. All that makes noise. If you like it or not, you guys are able to filter it. We're unable to filter anything. We hear everything at once, including you who are talking. You can probably ignore the people around you, so it's just like a really slight echo noise. maybe a little bit of a whisper. But to me, as you're talking right now, everything in the background is making the same sound as you. I was quiet to see if anything will pick up. Now imagine all that at the same volume as my voice. That's basically our lives on a daily basis. But continue. By the way, yes, autism is another special interest of me, because I want to make sure it's actually portrayed properly.
Hey. But the response to this was always, you're being dramatic, or you talk too much, or you're so sensitive. And to be fair, that's what it looked like on the outside. Who doesn't think dirty dishes are gross? Who isn't passionate about their interests? Who didn't find jeans to be itchy and refused to wear them until their parents forced them to in 7th grade?
Shorts, baby. I love wearing shorts and sweats, but I've been told that I need to wear sweats, slacks, and jeans all throughout my life. And it frustrates me to my core. So I try to find stuff that has the least amount of fabric or the least amount of frustrating flavors of textures. So I can try to look normal. There's no such thing as fucking normal. I don't care what anyone says. There is no such thing as normal. If you think something's normal, no, it's not. Try again. Oh yeah, I digress. Dramatic, yes, I've been called a dramatic, spoiled snowflake baby child. From anywhere from my teachers to my counselors. When things are outside my control. And I am diagnosed, by the way. So these teachers should understand I have issues. So the fact that they don't tells me everything I need to know about them. They're uneducated and may assume things. However, since really talking about not being diagnosed when it comes to having autism as growing up, I can only imagine, not just because you have ADHD, which is 100% confirmed, you now confirm you were diagnosed 100% with autism, which by the way, there is a thing called PTSD. I'll put it on screen if I got it wrong, but that is a part of autism disorder. That's usually where they put people who are undiagnosed or borderline normal and Asperger's. That's also where all the self-diagnosed people go too. But they assume because they're that automatically makes them autistic. So yeah, there's that. But something wrong with being self-diagnosed, just please get a check and confirm before spreading rumors that you have autism. There's always a finite of resources for us. And the last thing we need is a lot of people popping bubbles in it with people who are not autistic or people who are faking it and getting some of the resources away from those who are needed. That's what happened to me in the high school. There was only 2 areas in the school that people with mental health issues can go to. And most of the time they were taken up by people who were nervous about a test. So they took those spaces while people like me couldn't get those rooms who were having a mental breakdown. So yes, we need to keep a close eye on it. It's not something to be petty about. People can get hurt. Okay? Also, women and minority groups are really underrepresented. And I'm not saying this because liberal and stuff like that. I literally tried to do a research paper with my college, which has one of the biggest databases I have ever seen in my life, with over 10 quadrillion results for autism. Guess how many came up as an academic verified result that was focused on minority groups for females? A few million. Okay, that's fair. 1 trillion for guys, kids, and male voices. Okay, 1 trillion, a couple million for females. Alright, not fair, okay, Fine. Only 4 came up for African Americans of any age. 4. And one of them was in 1960. Yeah, we need more research. White males gets way too much attention, and kids. We need to focus on adults too. We grew up. We don't just get killed when we hit 18. Sorry for my rant. I don't know how long I've been going, Belle. Continue.
Oh, just me then? Fair enough. My point is, a lot of autistic behaviors and reactions can fly under the radar, you know? When the criteria for recognizing autism was first created, it was rooted in very old, outdated, and prejudiced perspectives. It only considered the experience of young white boys. Therefore, due to social constructs like, girls are so emotional, my supposed overreact.
I didn't think about that too. All the women stereotypes. Ooh. Thank you for putting that. Lily, you just put me in a new light. Okay, thank you very much. Also, just as a side note, and this is a serious statement, I hit the wrong button. Oh well, I'm gonna make it work. You know who originally created the system for high, mild, critical, low, severe functioning? The bloody Nazis from Germany. Hans Asperger. Look him up. Granted, he was one of the few decent men in the Nazis, trying to keep as many kids alive, but he still preyed in the system. It doesn't matter if you stop a person from killing someone because you respect them. You are still a part of a crime system. You need to at least get told off. At least that. But I digress.
Reactions to things were just chalked up to the F I got on my birth. And I can only imagine how much worse it is for people who aren't white like me. So for a while, I internalized this feedback. It felt like the phrase, just be yourself, applied to everyone except me, specifically. But newsflash, in case you haven't noticed, I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. I don't fit in, and I don't want to fit in. Have you ever seen me without this stupid hoodie on? At times where I wasn't sure how to respond or react properly, I'd study how others would act and try acting more like them. More normal. This is called masking, which sometimes worked.
I need to quit mansplaining. Lydia's actually doing pretty good. Just for the record, because I'm not trying to be rude, okay? I have seen, especially in the last 3 years, so many fake autism videos. And some of them I want to react to. Granted, some of them got deleted, but I want to react to some of these so I can show why these videos are bad. So the fact that Lydia's actually doing a good job, and I'm either beating her by the punch by a couple of seconds, or we're saying things at the exact same time, tells me we're on track. We're on the same eye level. I'm actually pretty happy right now. I am so happy right now. Keep going.
And
I was shut up for a while.
Didn't. Back when I was 11, I was on this weekend retreat kind of thing for church, but I didn't have many close friends in my youth group because they found me weird and didn't really like interacting with me. I also didn't have many friends in school. In fact, I was getting bullied for unknown reasons. Oh, wow. Okay. Point is, I didn't know how to interact with people properly, but I knew mimicking how others interacted with me kind of worked. So we get to the lake, and there's this giant cross in the middle. We get out of the van, and this one kid grabs his bags and says, "Ooh, I can't wait to get inside." And he runs ahead of us. So I, mimicking the kinds of things that worked for other kids, decided to say, "And I can't wait to see you trip and fall." Yeah, it's one of those things that like keeps me up at night. So yeah, I didn't understand why being myself wasn't allowed or why copying other people wasn't working, so I tried doing nothing. I did my best to quiet my brain and hide the person I was, which was so easy. Oh, alright, that's good to hear. Oh, no, I was being sarcastic. Oh man, it's okay. Dry humor and sarcasm sometimes goes over my head and right into my fragile heart, too. Dude, Did you just destroy my bed? Yes. I hate you. Wait, what? You do? You mean it? What? No, I was joking. Why would you joke about that? Well, if I explain it, it's not funny anymore. It wasn't that funny to begin with. Dude! So yeah, all my life I've felt like my brain was shaped like a bean, but everyone else's was shaped like a legume. Which I think is different.
Fancy.
Difference between bean and legume. Okay, yeah, beans are legumes, but not all legumes are beans. For example, peas, lentils, and peanuts are not beans, but are legumes. Yeah. This world was made for tough nuts. And I am a squishy little chickpea. And sometimes I could swing it, tossing my garbanzos into recipes and hoping things worked out. But sometimes I couldn't, because I can't. Like, how would you feel if you bit into your Reese's cup and found out it was a fucking bean cup? You're gonna get mad at the beans? Do you think they want to be there? Look at them. This is what hell looks like. I would know, because no matter what I do differently or how hard I try, this is my brain. This is how it works. Fucking bean cup. So...
That is so fucking relatable. Holy shit. Okay. There was parts of myself, and I made a video on this already, that I hate. I hate to my core. I hate the fact that my brain won't shut up. Because my brain wants to talk constantly. You think I talk enough? My brain is going double the speed that I can physically talk, which is often why I slur my words, how I not able to complete certain words, because by the time I say what I was about to speak, my brain wants to go ahead. So I'm always catching up. I'm never able to properly do things. That's why I often have to pause videos to give me a chance, let alone trying to hear what's happening. So, there's that. Another part I hate about myself is the fact that I rely on masking in order to fit in with society, because I just know if I show my true self, I will never be accepted in this world. Period. Just, that's it. 100% stop. I will never be accepted for who I am. Just because of one of many of my mental disorders. Because of my scoliosis. Because of me being bi. There's part of myself, that's part of ourselves that we have to hide from other people, because I know if I speak of these things, people will turn away from me, not because it's bad, but because it makes them uncomfortable. That's why we often resort to masking, hiding our true selves, because the moment we show a little bit of our feeling in our Reese's cups, people turn away. It happened to me so many times that I don't want to make friends. I want to make friends. Don't get me wrong, I want to make as many friends as possible. But I don't want to connect with them. Because the moment I do, the moment I feel like I got someone that stick with me for the rest of my life, they leave. Because I show a little bit too much of myself. It happened too many times to me. So, yeah. Well deep.
Life can really suck if you're atypical. People look at you weird, treat you differently, infantilize you, ignore you,
And
take advantage
fetishize
of you, or even hurt you. However, something important I should point out is there's nothing wrong with me or anyone who is neurodivergent, no matter where they are on the spectrum or how you perceive them. There's nothing about us to be cured. Like I said, the world just isn't made by...
Thank you for mentioning that you do not want to be killed. I don't want to be killed. As I just mentioned, there's things I hate about myself. But here's a question, okay? Let me ask you this question. Let's say, for example, weight. That's a common issue in my country. Weight. If you could cure your weight issue with a snap of your finger, go to your ideal weight, body figure, etc. Just like that. But you lose a part of your personality. You don't know what it could be though. It could be anything. It could be a change of eye color, all the way up to losing every single memory you ever had. It could be as simple as your hair changing color overnight, going from a brown to a blonde. Or you lose any type of physical disability you're able to do. So you went from being able, perfect body, to being forced into a wheelchair for life. But hey, at least you got your ideal body figure. That's the thing about a cure. Because it's genetic. I don't care what anyone says. Environmental, vaccine, all that. All that does not make sense. You're born with it. So it's genetic. So, yes, we can look and try to take parts out. But what are we going to do about eye contact? We have to go by the genes that involve eyes. So do I want to go blind so I can look at someone in the eye? What about all the brain functioning that makes someone obsessed about something? Do we want to mess with that gene and make someone not care about anything at all? There's too many what ifs in the idea of cure for autism. Because autism is not just eye contact. It's a head to toe issue. Not even an issue. Society treats it as an issue. When it is just a difference in point of view on life. And we have to respect that. Because do we have a problem with gender hair people, redheads? Because we're about the same population size as they are in the entire world. We don't have a problem with redheads. Why have a problem with us?
Or for beings like us.
I don't know, Illy. You don't seem autistic.
Wait, what? What do you mean I don't seem autistic?
Well, you don't act autistic. You have a job, you talk to people, and you can take care of yourself.
So you think autistic people can't be smart or capable?
No, it's not what I'm saying. It's just you don't look autistic.
So you think autistic people can't be hot?
What?
One of my most hated phrases of all time. Okay. Hopefully this offends no one. Okay? I just wanted to show a sample of what I'm talking about. Okay? When I was in college, and the professor asked me, "You don't look autistic. Are you sure you're autistic? Are you sure you're actually diagnosed? Because I wouldn't treat you really badly in this class," basically. I'm like, "Yep, I can show you the documents." And all that stuff. And I asked him, "What does autism look like to you?" Remember, this is a professor. He said, "Oh, I thought they looked like this." And then he tried to laugh it off. That's a professor. Someone who's about 30 to 40 years old, getting paid $100,000 to teach students about, granted, Spanish. However, the fact that he didn't even understand the basic idea of autism, to the point that he got on the stereotype created by a monster, Hitler, correctly down in his playbook. He also assumed every single person who has autism, regardless of who they are, is that. That's what they think. I don't care what they say. Another phrase I also hate is, you don't act like my great aunt, cousin, babysitter, dog sitter's nephew is. You don't act like her, therefore you can't be autistic. Those two always come out the same people's mouths, regardless of who they are. It is so bloody common. That's why I say it as soon as I meet someone new at college or a classroom, because it's easier to get that out of the way than to deal with it all. They also tend to baby you afterwards. They treat you like a 2-year-old afterwards. I'd rather have that then than down the road when I know I got treated with respect and then you change it up on me. So yeah, that's what I gotta say about that. I hate that phrase with a burning passion.
No, I just mean, so you don't think I'm hot? No, you're great.
That's just a funny way of saying
autistic. It. Like, my cousin is autistic. He's not.
Lily, you and I see eye to eye, man. You and I see eye to eye on this video, man. I'm happy you're bringing these points up. My God, I'm loving it. I'm not used to seeing something like this. I'm so fucking happy.
Nonverbal, he has to wear headphones everywhere so he doesn't get overstimulated, and he really, really likes trains. And you're nothing like him.
Well, yeah, of course I'm nothing like him. We're two completely different people. That's why it's called autism spectrum disorder.
You meet one person with autism, you know what that means? You met only one autistic person. It does not mean at all we're all the same level, man. Just because you meet one white boy doesn't mean you met every single white boy known to man. Just because you met one black person doesn't mean you met every single black person. Just because you met one gay doesn't mean you met all the gays. Once you break it down like that, you realize how dumb this whole argument is. So yeah.
Not, you act like my little cousin disorder.
I'm using that.
On one end of the spectrum where I don't need assistance caring for myself. Does that mean I'm not autistic? No, I still experience a lot of sensory problems that interfere with my life on a daily basis, especially when it comes to touch and sound. If I'm in a situation that's too noisy for me, or in pants that are too itchy, I know that if I can't remove myself from this overstimulating issue or find a way to cope through it, I could shut down and become nonverbal. And then you'll see me act autistic, which happens. And it sucks. It feels like my body locks up and my brain goes offline. But the worst part is, to everyone else, I just look like this. Good job, Alyssa. You're being so well behaved. Honestly, what I really needed back then was a pair of noise-canceling headphones and some gloves to do the dishes.
These are also soundproof, but these are my go out and about soundproofs. But yes, for those who are wondering and wanting more information on that situation, look up sensory overload meltdowns or sensory overload seizures. Those are two ideas of getting an idea of what she just talked about. I experience them, not a lot, because I'm able to know my warning signs. I learned these quick as a kid because my pattern thinking ahead. And I just simply went out and about, checking everything off my list that can trigger it and trying to remove it to the best of my ability of my life. Yes, both things that happens where it can't happen. And I accepted those, and I usually come prepared with these on standby to at least block one of the 5 issues I have. With sensory, if I can manage 2, I can handle the less. That's typically how it goes. There's a lot that I didn't know when I was a kid and growing up. I know a lot now because of my research project in college and my senior year speech that got canceled. So, yeah. It's a lot to autism, man. You don't know how little things are actually known until you meet one of us. Even us, we don't know what's going on half the time. We just manage and go with the bloody flow.
But I didn't know that. My parents didn't know that. My teachers didn't know that. Because all they saw was this over-talkative, forgetful, distracted kid finally sitting still and doing as they're told. Whether we understand it or not, though, some autistic people need more or less accommodations than others. And that doesn't make them more or less autistic. Or faking it, even. Like, you might only need glasses to see better when you're reading. Meanwhile, I need glasses all the time to see anything at all. But that doesn't mean you're faking it for attention. Again, these nuances among individual
I'm using that one too. Holy crap.
Just highlight all the things we need to change to make the world more understanding and accessible to everyone. Bean or legume.
Well, still, you shouldn't self-diagnose. Autism is serious. It's not some internet trend.
Yeah, I agree. Self-diagnosing yourself or faking a disability just to take advantage of the systems in place is really scummy. However, policing disabled people via vigilante justice is not the solution you think it is. Because disabled people deal with enough unnecessary crap from abled people, and doctors, sadly. If it turns out you're not autistic, but you do find training your dog to lay on your chest helps curb your sensory-related panic attacks, please do that. You're not taking away any resources from anyone else by simply taking care of yourself. And honestly, if you don't believe I fit the DSM-5 criteria for autism spectrum disorder after hearing all the things I listed about my own individual autistic experience, I don't care. 'Cause again, when the standards for autism have historically only represented quirked up white boys with a little bit of swag and a special interest in trains, you're gonna miss quite a lot of people. Whenever I feel imposter syndrome towards my place on the spectrum, I've just been telling myself, well, if I was a little boy, would a mother use this opportunity to lean over and explain to her wide-eyed child what autism is? And usually, the answer is yes. I think they would. Or better yet, if you think you may be autistic and want an informed opinion, talk to your autistic friends about it. That's what I did. And that's why I made this video. Thank you, Kit, for helping me with the script. But I don't have any autistic friends, you say. And to that I say, I'm pretty sure you do.
Okay, can I mention one thing about this before I go on to my mini rant again? Oh, sorry I'm talking a lot. I'm just really passionate about autism. Especially after the World War III meme. Who asked you to turn on? Sorry. After the World War III autistic meme, I have made my mission to talk about autism whenever I get a chance to, or demonstrate autism out in public or on YouTube. Granted, I didn't do a lot this year because I have my own issues I have to work on, but I'm going to get back into it. Okay, here we go. In the classroom setting, based off of data and evidence of math and survey upon surveys across the world, in high school and middle school, 1 in 3 of your classes, you have one autistic person in there. Think about that. And those are the mothers that are diagnosed. Okay, here we go. So, what I'm basically trying to say is you know one person. You may not know them that well because we tend to be more introverted, but talkative. We don't want to be around people too long, but we love to talk. So, that's that. I love what she said. If you can find ways to cope with your issues without taking stuff away that is already in a really small pot, go for it. Whatever makes you comfortable, go for it. It's when you start taking away medicine, rooms, safe spaces, quiet rooms, lounge areas, safety blankets, the counselor's time, the RA's time, the whatchamacallit, central. Once you start taking actual resources away, that's when it becomes an issue. What I always say is at least try to get tested. Get 2-3 opinions before you confirm your diagnosis to the world. That's how I can confidently say I have autism, insomnia, anxiety, depression, DID, etc., etc. I can confirm that because I got 2 or 3 doctors, psychologists, and therapists, or a combination, 2 or more of those, opinions. I can confirm this. I can't just get up and say I have ADHD. Even though I do have a couple of those traits, I cannot confirm that. That's not how it works. Now, if I have something that will make me able to focus more without taking resources, go for it. Have a ball. If it makes you happy and it won't take away or hurt from other people, go for it. The moment it starts hurting other people, that's when I have to step in and say that's a problem. So Liddy, even though it seems like she said she's undiagnosed, but she made a good point. The DSI, whatever it is, I forgot the test name, recently just changed some of the requirements to have autism. Personally, for me, it made it more stacked upon stacks that have autism. So, it's constantly changing, trying to make it more precise, more accurate. So, I say just get tested. Try to get 2 or 3 opinions if you have the money to do it. If you can't afford, even though I don't recommend it, because it's not accurate 90% of the time, take legit online autism tests. Not from BuzzFeed, but from medically induced sites. Tests, and if it says super critical high, you're more likely to probably need to get tested. If it says low, I wouldn't say you have autism. Check and see if you have something else. This is my opinion, because I get it. Undiagnosed in issues that you knew you had, but you could never get anything for, sucks. Depression, insomnia, and bloody DID for me. But don't claim until you actually know for sure. I can't claim this house is mine until I can pay taxes for it, until I own a part of this house. I can claim I own this room, but I can't claim I own this house. Basically what I'm trying to say. But keep going.
But if not, I encourage you to find a safe online community that is just as jazzed about your special interests as you are. So with that, thank you for watching my videos. Like it if you liked it so I know. Subscribe to see more stories. Please watch my video about Cats the Musical. And as always, stay safe.
If it's Cats the Musical the Broadway, then yes. If it's the movie, unfortunately no. I know how much you like Cats, but I didn't like the movie, personally. But yeah, that's all I have to say. That's my opinion. Take it or leave it, from an autistic person's point of view. I know I went on a whole bunch of rants, but I want to inform and add info to Liddy's video, because I know you can only pack so much into a video before people turn away or people get annoyed. That's why I added for those who care. If you don't care and you just wanted the reaction, sorry about your luck. You should have read the title a little bit more. Anyways, peace.